Hey everybody, welcome back to Video Episode. Here I got a fun and random episode for you guys this evening because just yesterday a demo for Sega vs. Capcom The Next Level came out. I was aware of this being in development. I had seen it on Twitter a few times and I figured once there was a demo it would be super fun to take a look at because I love talking about fighting games on this channel. I love Marvel vs. Capcom and pretty much everything Sega, so I thought why not. Before I get too far involved though, do me a huge favor, go down below, hit like and subscribe and ring that notification bell, definitely helps us out. And if you feel so inclined to want to support the channel, you got a Patreon link down below as well. But this project was made by Mad X Ruler and it's working on the Ikemen Go open source fighting game engine. And I will say, even though there's only two characters you can play as right now, Sonic the Hedgehog and Mega Man, the level of detail, polish, and overall impression of this demo is absolutely spectacular. I'm not saying this is rising to the level of a full retail game yet, but if it continues on this path, I think it could very well get there. This is just an impressive package from start to finish, and even though it is content light because it is just a demo, checking out what's going on here is going to be a ton of fun. And I will say right off the top, whatever they did with what looks like 3D models being sprites just 100% works. The fluidity of the animation of both Mega Man as well as Sonic the Hedgehog just looks like it is done by a professional team and probably not a few different developers. That is the highest praise I can give to this thing. If Sega developed a new 2D fighting game, I would expect it to be this fluid, but obviously this isn't a Sega product, this is a fan game. And I will say as well, the stages in the background, they do look very nice. They might not be as busy and detailed as something like Marvel vs. Capcom 2 or 3, but it still gives you a ton to look at, and it is an awesome first start to a project like this. And I can't wait to see what comes next, but even these finishing screens right here, outside of Mega Man being over Sonic, I wish they'd move them to the right a little bit and space them out. It does look like a really quality piece of artwork. Now as far as the modes are concerned, it's going to be light on the demo. You're going to get arcade and practice, and you're only going to get the 2 selectable characters, but you can see what the planned roster is here, 10 characters in total, and maybe that'll expand. You get tag mode as well as solo mode, and obviously this is trying to be Marvel vs. Capcom, but with the Sega universe involved as well, so we're going to see some more Sega characters come into the mix. And maybe as this game's development goes on, you might even see more characters than the original 10. But I don't really have any inside track on the project. I saw this on Twitter, a few people have mentioned it to me, and I just decided to do a video because I checked the demo out and was that impressed by it. But a fighting game lives or dies on the fighting game engine and the moves and inputs. If this does not play well, then all the pretty graphics in the world, all the fluid animations are not going to make this thing a fun experience. But the good thing is, as far as what is currently here, it is an excellent fighting game system. I would say that the first match that you saw that I won, I did max out the difficulty to 8 and still found it relatively easy, so I think there's definitely room to increase the AI to be much more challenging and give you a harder fight. But otherwise, the fluidity of the inputs, the overall moveset is very well fully featured, and for the first demo that you can play, I am impressed. Usually when you see a demo of a fighting game, the moveset isn't 100% there, or it doesn't really feel like it has enough meat on its bones for you to really sink your teeth into it. This is definitely shaping up in the other direction. The characters that are here feel 100% fully finished, and it seems like they waited to release a demo until they had 2 characters with those full movesets, which I think was actually a very smart idea. You can see in the tagging and team attack mechanic, it is just another fluid experience. This reminds me so much of Marvel vs. Capcom, so much so that if Capcom actually had developed this as a demo and released it as kind of like an early beta just as an online test, I would 100% buy that. That's the level at which this is reaching to. All of the screen effects when you do those special attacks look great. This background looks really nice. This is basically the training area, and I'm just 100% into it. I'm really surprised that this has actually never been a game before. There's been so many crossover fighting games. Sega's made so many fighting games. Maybe Sega just doesn't like loaning their characters out to other people, because honestly, now that I see this, I think to myself, how has this never been done before? But leave me a comment down below and tell me what one crossover fighting game you would love to see if you were able to just snap your fingers and make it exist tomorrow, because I'm sure there's a lot of great mashups out there I've never thought about before. Like I said, again, the only thing that I have issue with at the demo at this point in time, and it is a small issue and one that can definitely be corrected, is the difficulty definitely isn't hard enough for me. I am not a fighting games expert. I've been playing them for a long time, but I don't pretend to be amazing at them, but I still wish there was a little more challenge. And as far as the music and sound effects are concerned, they are amazing. Listen, and I'll be right back.
Mission start. Get ready. Fight!
From the music to the announcer to the sound effects, everything just works here, and I think it was a really smart thing just to release a demo that was fully featured but with limited stages and characters, because you get a sense of what the final game could be. And as far as the game settings are concerned, you can dial up or down the difficulty whatever you want, and as far as your inputs are concerned, you get a full ability to rebind them all, whether you're using a keyboard, a controller, or in this instance what I was doing was using an arcade stick I use for Windows. But let's pop over to practice mode here and just take a look at what else you can do. The nice thing is in practice mode you do get a stage select, because I found that one stage would never come up in arcade mode. Maybe I just got unlucky and rolled the dice wrong a bunch of times. Maybe it's just limited to practice mode. This demo is so new, I am not sure. But this stage again, it just has so much charm. I appreciate the fact that the developers of this game are putting in so much fan service. You have a Third Strike cabinet back there, a Crazy Taxi cabinet, a Virtual Fighter 3 Team Battle cabinet. It's so much fun, and if you move over to the training menu, you can turn it from manual to AI to basically just standing there. You can up and down the AI level. You can basically configure any option you want, and then you can even see the command list for your particular character, and the artwork on that is extremely nice. You'll see that Marvel vs. Capcom cabinet in the back as well. I just love this. Obviously, developers didn't start to make this because they weren't fans of Sega or Capcom. That is why these projects end up happening. But I do love all of the little fan nods. Now, if you take a look at the background really quick, and again, this is a demo, so it's not a critique. I know the developers mentioned they'd love to hear what could be improved. Those little red flashing lights definitely could use a couple more frames of animation. And I would say that that green circle there for that special attack could definitely use some softening around the edges to kind of blend it better into the overall screen. But these are small, tiny nitpicks, and that is super amazing from an open source fighting game engine and a game developed by fans. These are the type of things that you would see critiques of if this was a retail game released by Capcom. Something like Street Fighter 6 might see the same level of small nitpicks. And I will say, if we quickly pop over to Marvel vs. Capcom 2, you totally get the vibes that they're going for. 2D characters on top of 3D polygons in the background. Obviously, it seems like the characters in Sega vs. Capcom are definitely polygons brought over to sprites, but I will have to look into that because it's possible maybe they just drew it that well. But this is just awesome. I love seeing things like this. I love talking about things like this on the channel because I love when there's new stuff to talk about and play. And when you put two of my favorite developers together in one of my favorite genres as a fighting game mashup, it is a day one checkout for me as far as the demo is concerned. So I can't wait to see what the next demo brings. And if you like videos like this, leave me a comment down below. I've been doing a little bit more of them and I am curious what you guys think. They seem to be viewed well, but I'm always wondering. And if you do want to play this, I will leave a link to the developer's Twitter down below and you can grab everything from there. The only concern I have about this game is hopefully it does see active development and continued development and nobody steps in and says, hey, you should definitely stop this, because it is a Sega and Capcom property. So we'll see what happens in the future. Sometimes those things just don't end up happening. Short of that, this is awesome. I can't recommend it enough. What is here is spectacular. I can't wait to see what comes next. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.